Good evening to all. Welcome to the session 200 Grammar Rules. And if you guys remember, yesterday you got three rules related to number. Yesterday I gave three rules related to number. The first one, some nouns always have the same form, singular or plural. The second one, some nouns always plural form and take a plural verb. Third one, some nouns always have the plural form but take a singular verb. And I'll continue from there. Today, the first one, that is rule number 13. I'm still with number. If you guys remember, the very first day I told, when it comes to number, it is very important from the exam point of view. And there are six rules. Already you have learned three rules. You got three rules yesterday. And today you're going to learn three rules related to number. And also the last one related to noun, an important rule. Now let us have a look at the first one for today. Some nouns always have the singular form but take a plural verb. The last one you got yesterday, if you remember, always plural form, singular verb. Here, quite contrary. Some nouns always have the singular form but take a plural verb. And here, exam point of view, there are five examples. These you have to remember: cattle, poultry, gentry, vermin, clergy. You all must be knowing the meaning of what cattle is, what poultry, the word poultry, the word cattle. But gentry, that's an important word. In the past, they would give questions based on cattle and poultry. Nowadays, they're asking questions based on the word gentry. I'm going to tell the meanings, the last three words, then I will read out the examples. Gentry means if you take any society, we have three categories: the low class, the middle class, the upper class. The upper class of a society is called gentry. Then vermin, that is in the limelight. What is vermin? Animals that cause diseases. Animals like bats, foxes. Some people consider fox vermin, and cockroaches, rodents. All these animals, they cause diseases. They are known as vermin. And clergy. Clergy means those who offer the services to a church or a mosque. Traditionally church, but mosque also we say clergy, those who work dedicated either to the church or to the mosque. Now, the examples: the cattle are grazing in the field. Cattle singular form but plural verb. Try to focus on the subject, singular or plural. Also try to focus on the verb. His poultry are kept in the backyard. His poultry are kept in the backyard. One more example: their poultry have been fed. This is in present perfect passive voice. Their poultry have been fed. The gentry have accepted our invitation. Gentry looks singular, but it has we have to use a plural verb. The gentry have accepted our invitation. We have invited the gentry. After reading out the examples, I will tell you how they ask the questions. The clergy were the main persecutors of witches in the past. Vermin don't have to wipe out themselves. These are the examples. Now, how do they ask the question in the exam? They may give a question like they have given many a time. In fact, the cattle is grazing in the field. Now, a student who doesn't know the rule, he or she uses logic. Cattle singular is singular. So the cattle is grazing in the field. He or she may think the sentence is right, but it is not correct. The cattle are. Again, as I said, of late they have been giving questions based on the word gentry. And this year they may give the word vermin. Gentry, how do they ask the questions? We have invited the gentries, not correct. Always singular form, but take a plural verb. We have invited the gentry. Don't say gentries. Another example: the gentry has accepted our invitation. A student who doesn't know the rule looks at the subject. What is the subject here? Gentry. Looks singular. Has accepted our invitation. Gentry has. He or she thinks, logically thinking, it looks right, and he may go for the fifth option, no error, but it is not correct. What is the correct sentence? The gentry have accepted our invitation. So all these examples give you an idea how they ask the question. Now let us go to, and if you have a question regarding rule number 13, you can ask me. Then I will go to rule number 14. I will be waiting. I will give you a few seconds. And if at all you have a question regarding the first one for today, that is rule number 13. Some nouns always have the singular form but take a plural verb. If you have a question, please ask. I'll be happy to answer. The cattle are. Yes, Ravi Teja. We cannot say is. No doubts. That's very good. Now, next one, rule number 14, compound nouns. And these go with common errors. What is a compound noun? Generally, noun has only one word: student, book, bench, whatever it is, pen, stylus. But in English, we have rules, we have exceptions. Forms also, exceptions are there. When it comes to nouns, some nouns they have two words or three words. Any noun that has two or three words is called a compound noun. Examples: mother-in-law. There are three words, but this is considered one noun. Commander-in-chief. Three words, considered one noun. Man of letters, considered one noun. Now, what happens here today at the outset, the very first day I told you guys, when it comes to English grammar, the first question: why should we learn English grammar? From the exam point of view, grammar means rules. In the exam, they ask a lot of questions based on rules, but a lot, not all the questions. The very first day I told you guys, 80%, I repeat, 80% based on rules and exceptions, 20% based on common errors, and 20% common errors. This one goes with common errors. Now, when it comes to why do they make a mistake? They think logically. When it comes to changing a singular noun to a plural noun, what do? We add s or es. Book, books; student, students; bench, benches. Using the same logic, a lot of people in our country say mother in laws. Mother in laws is not correct. We have to say what is a key word? What is the rule here? We should add s or es to the key word in compound nouns. When you take mother in law, what is the key word? Mother. To that we should add s or es. Then what is the plural of mother in law? Mothers in law. Commander in chief. And these examples have given in many competitive exams. Commander in chiefs, not correct. Commanders in chief. Man of letters, that's an interesting example. What is a singular here? Man. What is a plural? Men. Man of letters, what is a plural form? Men of letters. So here, mothers in law, commanders in chief, men of letters. Have a look at the examples. He is commander in chief. He is the greatest and most powerful man in the world. Many men of letters were criticized in public in the past, and his sons in law are very kind and understanding. We should not say his son in laws. A lot of people say son in laws. That is not correct. Sons in law. I hope you got the rule. Rule number two is what? Compound nouns. Compound nouns, plural forms. How do we form? We add s or es to the key word. Generally, what happens? Regular batches, I give these examples, and I ask the students, what is the plural of son, stepfather, stepmother, stepbrother? They take some time. What is the reason? In our culture, very rarely we use words like stepfather, stepmother, stepbrother, stepsister. Our culture, we don't use these words regularly. But if you go to the western part of the world, the US, Europe, quite often they use words like stepfather, stepmother. But whatever it is, the key word, stepson. Here, what is the key word? Son. What is the plural? Stepsons. That you should always remember. Sisters in law. That's right. Now let us go to this is a very important rule. Please listen very carefully. Latin and Greek origin. If you take English language as such, it is the richest language we say. Then you may ask, sir, why should we say it is the richest language? One reason: Britishers ruled, they went to different parts of the world, they ruled, they had colonies. And wherever they went, they picked up the words. and that made those words part of English language. And when you look at English language as such, so many words, they are from either Latin or Greek. Not only these two languages, from so many languages. Yesterday I told you guys, if you take if you take India as such, from India, 2,000 words have become part of standard English. The Oxford University Press has published a booklet, Words of Indian Origin, 2,000 words. Words like today, what is idli? That is an English word. Dosa, English word. Rangoli, English word. And so many words are there. Origin, Indian origin. Here, Latin or Greek origin, nouns of Latin and Greek origin don't take S or ES. And these are very important. Yes, that's right, Uday Kumar. These are very important from the exam point of view. A lot of students don't know these forms. Under pressure, not easy to spot the error. Now we'll have a look at the singular form, the plural form. I have written, you can easily make out criterion singular, the first one. Second one, plural. Criterion singular, criteria plural. Phenomenon singular, phenomena plural. Memorandum singular, memoranda plural. Alumnus singular, alumni or alumni. Either way it is correct, plural. Datum, singular, data, plural. Standard English. But modern English, data is used singular as well as plural, and data is also considered collective noun. If you consider data a collective noun, then you have to use a singular verb. That is an important one. Index, either indexes or indices. Matrix, matrices. Medium, a lot of students think medium singular, media plural. But do remember, mediums is also correct. Then where do we use mediums? Generally speaking, media, that medium, plural, media. But when it comes to labs, in research labs, they cultivate plants or animals, the microscopic organisms, they use the culture media, medium. Culture medium there, singular culture medium, plural culture media, mediums, not media, mediums. That is also right. But generally, when you talk about the print media, the broadcast media, they medium singular, media plural. And stratum means what? A layer, plural strata. Syllabus singular, syllabi plural. Radius singular, radii plural. Now let us have a look at a few examples. Middle managers stipulated work-life balance as a main criterion when choosing jobs. Main criterion, singular. This phenomenon has become known as a Texas syndrome. This phenomenon singular, so has become known as a Texas syndrome. Several alumni or alumni have agreed to help raise money for orphans. Now, how do they ask the question in the exam? This phenomenon have become known as something. Not correct. Phenomenon singular, we should use has. The same way, criterion singular, we should use a singular verb. I'm going to show some more examples. Some Indian schools teach French as a foreign language and have their own syllabi and exams. Their own syllabi and exams. Here, syllabi plural. Look at the last example. They have given in SBI, I suppose. The criterion that has been used is quite effective. The criterion singular that has been used, singular verb, is quite effective, singular verb. But in the exam, they may give a question like the criteria that has been used is quite effective. Then how do you decide whether it is criterion or criteria? There are two verbs, has singular, is also singular. When there are two singular verbs, obviously the subject has to be a singular noun. Based on that, criteria is not correct. It should be criterion. I hope you got it. Before I go to the next rule, if you have a question regarding nouns of Latin and Greek origin, please ask. I will be happy to answer your questions. Stepmother. Yes, of course, that is a word. Stepfather, stepmother. That is a right word. No questions. Stepmothers. As I said, stepmother singular, stepmothers plural. What is the reason? The key word, step is not the key word in stepmother. Ask the question, what is the key word? Mother. Stepbrother, what is the key word? Brother. Stepsister, what is the key word? Sister. Add s or yes to that. Now let us, thanks for your response, no doubts. Let us go to the last rule for today. Nouns, again about nouns, before and after preposition, a preposition, that's a short form. If we use the same noun before and after a preposition, we should use a singular form for both and a singular verb. This has been given in many exams. I will repeat. Imagine there is a preposition. You use one noun before preposition and another noun after preposition. These two nouns should be in the singular form and we should use a singular verb. Have a look at the example. Letter after letter has been received. This sentence is in present perfect and passive voice. Letter after letter. What is the preposition here? After. Letter after letter. In the exam, they may give, and they have given already, letter after letters have been received. Not correct. Letter after letter. Before the preposition, after the preposition, same noun should be in the singular form, and singular verb has been received. Ship after ship has entered the port. Even this has been given in some exam. Ship after ship has entered the port. I hope you got the rule. Please say yes or no. If you say yes, sir, page after page has been checked. Very good. Who is this? Rajshekha Aidala. Perfect example. Page after page, file after file. That's wonderful. Day by day. Yes, day after day also you can say. Now have a look at this slide. So far, you have got 12 rules till yesterday, and today you have got 4. Total, you have got 16 rules. But today, I haven't brought the questions based on previous year's papers. I have brought questions based on these 12 rules, 25 questions. How many questions? 25 questions. Now, many of these questions are easy because already you have learned the rules, but here the challenge is try to get all the 25 correct. You can easily get 15 plus, 20 plus, absolutely no problem, but try to get all the 25. Then we'll review all the rules. Shall I go to the questions? Now, the first one, read the sentence and tell me where the error is, and also tell me if there is no error, say no error, sir. Consolidation, obviously. Today it is weekend special. Consolidation. See what happens here when you keep on learning, impossible to remember. No one can remember. You always learn, learn, learn. It is like you are chasing something. When it comes to learning, learn a little. When it comes to competitive exams, especially objective type exams, what I tell my students, learn a little, practice a lot. When it comes to descriptive paper, you don't have to practice a lot, read a lot, and go write the exam. But objective type, multiple choice, a different game altogether. Read a little, learn a little, practice a lot. That is the right approach. Now, what is the answer? No, no, you have to tell me the answer. Every sentence I have divided into 4 parts. And which part has an error? If there is no error, you have to say no error. Oh, a lot of students say the Netherlands. There is an error. This is really surprising to me. Oh, I'm really surprised and shocked. No one has answered. No one has given the correct answer. That is really surprising. Now, listen to me very carefully. Perhaps you haven't heard every question. There may be an error, may not be an error. There are 4 parts. Every question has been, every sentence has been divided into four parts. If there's an error, you should tell which part has an error. First one, second one, third one, fourth one. If you think there is no error, you have to say no error. Now I see a few students. Prithviraj says no error. Ramadevi says no error. And after that, who is this? Suma also says no error. Here, there is no error. That is the answer. What is the reason? Yesterday, I think I don't remember when you got this rule. The very first day, I started with nouns. The first one, proper noun. Then I gave one rule. What is that? Proper nouns, wherever they are in a sentence, the first letter should be capital letter. First rule. Second rule, names of countries, proper nouns, we should not use any article. But rule number three, I said exception. Then I gave the examples, the Netherlands, the Irish Republic. Now I don't want to repeat because some questions are there. So here there is the Netherlands, no error. The rider from the Netherlands is still in the lead as the Tour de France enters its closing stage today. Absolutely no problem. Answer is no error. Now let us go to question number two. Please read the sentences carefully. No, but a lot of students have said the Netherlands not correct. That is not acceptable. I don't focus on other things. Here we are working on nouns. Based on nouns, the rules you have already learned. Based on those rules, I have brought the questions. Yes, yes, of course. Without consolidation, rules. See, I can teach, keep on teaching rules, but you cannot remember. After 1 week, many of those rules just vanish from your mind. Then, how to remember? You have to practice like this and you have to consolidate. Now, where is the error? Sentence number two. Aman says omit two. I can't wait to meet Pope Francis when I'm in Rome. This is the toughest question, in my opinion. If you get this right, you're outstanding. You should be very happy. Today is your day. I'll wait. The Pope to meet. No, the Pope. Here you cannot use the definite article the. Someone says the second part that is not correct. Omit two, that is not correct. When I'm in Rome, nothing wrong with that. This is impossible, in my opinion. Not those who are good at English also. I don't think they can spot the error. Let me tell you. Let us not waste time. There is an error in the third part. Now listen very carefully. Titles like Pope. When it comes to titles, if you don't mention the name of the person after that title, then you can use the first letter, small letter. But here you see Pope Francis. You mention the name of the person after the title, then the title, the first letter should be in capital letter. So, what is wrong with this sentence? It is not POPE, small letter. It is POPE, first letter, capital letter. I can't wait to meet Pope Francis when I'm in Rome. Here, Pope, first letter should be in Pope, first letter should be capital letter Y. The name has been mentioned, Pope Francis. Then we have to make P capital letter. I went to see the Pope. Here, I haven't mentioned the name. Then P is small letter. I hope you got the rule. Please respond. Not Pop, Pope. See, I will repeat. If you mention the name of the person after the title, then the first letter of the title should be capital letter. Pope Francis. No, that's what I'm doing. Now, here, Pope is a title. If you mention the name of the person after the title, here I have mentioned Pope Francis. Francis, name of a person. Then Pope, the first letter should be capital letter. But here in the sentence, it is small letter. That is the error. I will give one more example. I went to Rome to meet the Pope. Here, no name. In this sentence, the Pope, P should be small letter. Now, I hope it's clear. Very difficult, practically impossible. That's why I said, had you got it right, it would have been your day. Very simple. Now, please go to question number Okay, okay. Please go to question number three. The here before Pope. The previous example. No, the Pope Francis. There you cannot. But without Francis, I went to meet the Pope. That is right. Now let us go to question number three. He is the John Keats of our college. Someone says remove the. And Aman says no error. Nagamani says no error. And also Prithvi Raja says no error. After that, Rama Devi. And some more students, yes, no error. What is the reason? Here, John Keats, name of a person, a proper noun. Sometimes we can use a proper noun as a common noun. But when we use a proper noun as a common noun, before the proper noun, we should use the definite article the. Already you have learned he is the John Keats of our college. I gave the examples that time. He is the George Bernard Shaw of our group, if you remember. So no error. And who is this John Keats, English poet? And his famous quote, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Have you heard of this? A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Who said that? John Keats. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. No error. Very good. Now let us go to, oh, I'm sorry. For this trial, the jury are composed of seven men and five women. Michael Jackson, he is the Michael Jackson of our group. That's a very good example. Proper noun as common noun, then we should use the definite article the. Please go to question number four. Yes, jury is. For this trial, the jury R is not correct. The jury is composed of seven men and five women. You have seen the answer. The jury is, not jury R. There's no division. You're talking about jury, a collective unit. So is, not R. Now let us go to question number five. The new team were harnessed and ready to go. If you ask, so what is the meaning of the word harness, extract? In this context, something like trained. Jury takes singular as well as plural, depends on the context, depends on the sentence. In this sentence, it is singular. Yes, question number five. The new team, here there's no division, was harnessed together, was harnessed and ready to go. Harness means extract, talent usually, and exploit positive connotation. Now, the new team was harnessed. Oh, I don't know why it's happening. The staff of the new company are very efficient. So, what is the answer? The staff of the new company are very efficient. The new team was, that's right. Now, please go to question number six and tell me where the error is. The staff of the new company are very efficient. Harness also means, actually, harness means extract, take out the best in someone. Here it is. The staff of the new company is very efficient. Again, remember, now let me ask a question. Staff is a collective noun. It can take a singular verb, it can take a plural verb, depends on the sentence. Now, if I say staffs, is it right or wrong? I will repeat. If I say staffs, I add the letter S to STAFF. Answer my question, is it right or wrong? If I say that, is it right or wrong? Here I'll write so that is this word correct or wrong? Right or wrong? Wrong. It is correct. A lot of students don't know that. When do we say staffs? Actually, it's a collective noun. As I always tell students, rules are there, exceptions are there. The staff of that university. The staff of that university or the staff of that company is very efficient. Here we are talking about of one company. Now look at the example. The staffs of different companies are quite efficient. Here I'm talking about the staff of one company, staff of company one, staff of company two, staff of company three. Then I have to say the staffs of those three companies are quite efficient. The sentence is correct. Now let us go to the team are headed to the nationals since winning the state finals. It should have been after winning. Teams also, yes, different countries, teams. That's right. Yes, yes, I say this quite often. Then, if you ask me, sir, how do we know? Read a lot, then expose yourself to the language, then you understand all these exceptions. Otherwise, impossible. The team is headed. That's right. Interesting. Thank you, Uday. The team is headed to the nationals after winning the state finals. The team is headed. I don't know why. The Basketball Diaries is a harrowing look at drug addiction. Now tell me whether this is right or wrong. The sentence is correct, or if you think there is an error, what is the error? You have seen the answer, this one also. Just ignore that one. No error. No error. The Basketball Diaries are, some students say, R should be there. It's like equal number. Yes. Which one? You're talking about the previous one. The team, only one team, headed to the nationals. We are talking about one team. Now, here, no error. What is the reason? The Basketball Diaries, that is a title of a book. What is it? Title of a book. Already have got the rule. When we have a title in the plural form, but it represents one unit, then we should use a singular verb, not a plural verb. The Basketball Diaries, this is a title. Diaries in the plural form, that doesn't matter. It is a title of a book. The Basketball Diaries is a harrowing look at drug addiction. So, what is the answer? There is no error. Now, huh, $20,000 is not a small salary per month. The Arabian Nights, that day I give that example. The Arabian Nights is a very popular novel. Today, the exercises questions quite interesting for two reasons. The exercises, the examples are quite interesting, and consolidation. Consolidation is always important. $20,000. That is one error. And what is the other error? Any other error? Only one error. Which one is that? But here, I haven't focused on that. So you may see there is an error. What is that? $20,000. We cannot say 20 thousands. If you take $20,000, is not a small salary per month. That is the actual sentence. So $20,000 plural, but already have got one rule. When we talk about specific amount, usually that goes with distance, money, and also time, all these. Then we consider one unit and we take it as a whole. Based on that, we should use a singular verb. Don't consider 20,000, take it as $20,000 is not a small salary per month. Furniture for young children need to be indestructible. 20 miles is a long distance. Yes, that is right. 20 miles is a long distance. You got it that day. 20 minutes is a long, 20 miles, yes. 15 minutes is given to every student. Yes, who is this Naga Maleshwari? The first one to respond. What is it? Here, furniture, it is considered singular, and the sentence is in present tense, affirmative or negative, need to be affirmative. We should add s or es to the verb. What is the verb here? Need. Need is not correct. It should be needs to be. Furniture for young children needs to be indestructible. Needs, that is the right word. We marveled at the splendor of the sceneries. This is an easy one you can answer. Whether you see the answer or not, that doesn't matter. When you see the cannot be indestructible, cannot be destroyed, destruction. Destruction means destroy. From that, you get this word indestructible means what? Cannot be destroyed. So here, this is the easiest one. We marveled at the splendor, beauty of the scenery, not sceneries. What is it? Of the scenery. Scenery cannot be used in the plural form. They need the advice of a qualified man engineer. Hmm. They need the advice of a qualified engineer. Is this right or wrong? From Monday, I'm going to bring more examples based on the rules you learn. We will change the approach. Rule questions at random. I don't think you will get benefited. Maybe a few I will bring, but I'll try to get based on the topic, nouns, more questions. That will help you guys. You will be able to consolidate. Wrong. A piece of advice. The advice. No error. Who says no error? That is the answer. The advice means specific. It doesn't talk about one or two. It talks about something specific. Absolutely no problem. They need the advice of a qualified engineer. He needs the advice of a qualified manager. Absolutely no problem. What is the answer? No error. Now go to the next one. You can also say a piece of advice, but in this context, we are talking about something very specific. Something very specific. Then, no, no, that's what I was trying to tell Nagamani. Here we are talking about something specific. Then we cannot say a piece of advice. Better expression, the advice of a qualified person. The sheepdog, that is a subject. The sheepdog protects the sheep from danger. So, an easy one, the sheepdog protects the sheep, not sheeps. Already have learned what is the rule. Some nouns have the same form, singular or plural, and typical examples deer, sheep, salmon, all those. Now, let us go to thousands of young salmons and trouts have been killed by the pollution. Some, you have to use the word some. Salmon, that's right, only salmon. How about there are two errors, not one, but they go hand in hand. Oh, you guys are focusing on only one thing. Generally, we say a piece of advice. We don't use it in the plural form because it doesn't have a plural form. Trout also, if you remember, I gave the examples, nouns that have the same form, singular or plural. Deer, sheep, land animals, salmon, trout, cod, types of fish, offspring, aircraft, spacecraft. So here it should be salmon and trout. Both should be considered. Now look at this one. In the case of the guinea pig, the number of offsprings varies between 2 and 5. Now where is the error? Yes, Tirupati Rao, salmon and trout. Please go to next question. Question number 15. Yes, it's always better if you write those examples. And here the answer, there's no word like offsprings. It is always offspring. In the case of the guinea pig, the number of offspring varies between 2 and 5. Offsprings is not correct. It should be only offspring. The deadly disease, measles, ailed the little girl. Thank God the answer hasn't popped up. No, I was not comfortable because of that. You guys see the answer, try to answer. That's not a good thing. Now have a look at question number 16 and try to answer. Where is the error? The deadly disease measles ailed the little girl. Very good. Aman has got it right. And after that, measles is correct. Nothing wrong. Who Prithvi Raja has got it right. And after that, a lot of students, yes, the sentence isn't present. And measles considered singular. Though it looks plural, it takes a singular verb. Based on that, the sentence is in present tense, affirmative form, subject is third person singular. We should add s or es to the verb. What is the verb here? Ail. To that we add s. What do we get? Ails. The deadly disease measles ails the little girl, troubles the little girl. Measles ails. That is correct. A lot of students have got it right. That's wonderful. I appreciate. Thank God. Now you don't see the answer. Every time I got to be a little careful. Now, question number 17. The economics of the project is very encouraging. This is a good question. Read the sentence and try to answer. Tell me where the error is. The economics of the project is very encouraging. Tell me whether there's an error or no error. Are very encouraging. Who is that? Oh, a lot of students have got it right. I appreciate. Here, the word economics. I'm not talking about subject. Yesterday or day before yesterday, I told you guys economics can be a subject, then it takes a singular verb. Economics has a meaning. What does it mean? It means financial aspects. In this context, it doesn't talk about the subject, it talks about financial aspects, plural form. Based on that, we cannot use a singular verb. Verb should be in the plural form. What is the correct sentence? The economics of the project are very encouraging. This is a good question, in my opinion, but a lot of students have got it right. The murderer was sent to the gallows for his crimes. So, this is also a good question. Economics means financial aspects, plural form. Oh, a lot of students have got it right. I think two of them. One is Bhavana, the other one is Nagamani. Let others also respond. I will not say whether it is right or wrong. Gallows. Ravi Tej also says gallows. And after that, I see some more students. That is the answer. What is this gallows? Gallows is not correct. Gallows. If you go to a jail, in the past medieval times, public, you would come across in public gallows. Gallows means the platform where a person is hanged. It has two poles, vertical, one horizontal, and the person is a criminal, is made stand over there, a rope against his neck, and when the person gets a signal, he pulls a lever, and this man hangs and gets killed. That place is called gallows, the place where a person is hanged. I hope you got it. The place is known as gallows, not singular, plural. She pushed her spectacle up her nose and sighed. Thank you very much. Who is this? Pakka, Mahi Pakka. Jack Sparrow. What is the name of that movie? I don't remember. It goes with Pirates of the Caribbean Sea. Spectacles. They test your knowledge. There are two dimensions. One, some nouns are always in the plural form. They take a plural verb. And the other dimension, they may give a singular verb, then it is not correct. The other dimension to test your knowledge, they may give the word in the singular form. They have given already in many competitive exams, that is not correct. So, what is the correct answer? She pushed her spectacles up her nose and sighed. Yes. Question number 20. The beautiful autumn has its own beauty. Yes, yes, I got it. Thank you very much, Rajshekar. You guys enjoy, I think, uh, examples related to the rules you have learned. I think you're able to relate and you're quite happy with that. I can see from your responses. This is what we have to do regularly. So, her own beauty. What is the reason? A lot of students have got it right. Autumn. What is the subject here? The beautiful autumn. Two seasons are considered feminine, two seasons are considered masculine. Summer, winter, very harsh, considered masculine. Spring, autumn, considered beautiful. So, the spring season is the most beautiful season. Based on that, we cannot say its, we should say her own beauty. That's wonderful. Now, answer my question, how many seasons are there? The handwriting of Murthy sir has no, 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 no. Handwriting, it is not considered feminine. It is considered neuter gender, its own beauty. I'm not able to write comfortably because of this new stylus. That doesn't matter. Thank you very much, Prithvi Raja. Now here, how many seasons are there? Four seasons. But for us Indians, five seasons. Actually, four seasons: summer, winter, spring, autumn. British English. American English also four seasons: summer, winter, spring, fall. Americans don't use the word autumn. Autumn, the leaves fall. They use the word fall season. And for us, five seasons. What is the fifth one? We have added a rainy season. Because we experience the monsoon, we have added a rainy season. Oh, in Telugu, six seasons. I'm not aware of that. Now let us go to the next one. Economics as a subject is not an exact science. A rainy season, yes. It's not a season as such. We have created that word, and nothing wrong in that. Today it has become part of standard English language. As I said, 2000 words have become part of standard English language, Indian origin. No, 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 not at all. Not at all, Rajshekar. There are so many people, they are real calligraphers. They write so well, beautifully. No error, perfect. Economics as a subject, in the sentence itself, there's a clue for you. As a subject is not an exact science. No error. It is considered subject, it takes a singular verb. Now, please go to question number 21. 21 over 22. The Three Musketeers are a French historical adventure novel. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie The Three Musketeers. Is it question number 22, Sampath? Answer no error. Is. Some students say is. The Three Musketeers are a French historical adventure novel. Yes, here the Three Musketeers. In the sentence itself, you have a clue. What is a clue? Novel. The title of a novel and the title of a book, if it is in plural, we don't consider, it is considered one unit. Based on that, we should use a singular verb. R is not correct, it should be. Is a French historical adventure novel. Those who have written is, be happy. That is the answer. Three Musketeers. The Three Musketeers, a Hollywood film, a big hit based on the same novel, English movie. Okay. The staff are working on many projects for the holiday party. Question number 23. We still have 10 minutes. Hmm. Question number 23. Where is the error? He is working. He is working. A lot of students, three students already. He is working. He is working. All, almost all. Oh, this is a good question. No one has got it right. No. Answer. See the answer. No error. Tell me why. The staff are working on many projects. They're working on many projects. Then you have to use a plural form. If they're working on one project, then one unit, singular verb. But what is a clue here? They're working on different projects, many projects. Then you have to use are, not is. Ah, this is like a bouncer. That's right. I can make out from your expressions. Not an easy one. No one has got it right. That is amazing. I will give the tips. Please wait, Adarsh Gupta. I'm going to give the tips also how to remember the rules. I'm doing in a systematic way. I will be teaching the rules, noun related. Then I will tell how to remember these rules. That way, I'm going to tell how to remember all the rules. Not at all a problem. You got to have patience. So, different projects, then you cannot use singular verb. It should be plural verb. This is the toughest one, I suppose. Now let us go to question number 24. I left, yes, yes. Who is this? Yesterday also there was a question, Vijay. I left CCE. Now I don't work for CCE. I'm with an academy. That's the reason why I'm here. It's an ocean, any language for that matter. Who is that? Vishnuvardhan. Any language. It could be Hindi, it could be Telugu, it could be Tamil, it could be English. Every language is an ocean. And what we know is like the tip of an iceberg. See, I have been teaching for the last 25 years. It doesn't mean that I know English inside out. If I tell you guys, I have been teaching for the last 25 years, I know English, I know everything related to English. I'm trying to make a fool out of myself. I'm trying to tell something that is ridiculous. One life is not enough to master a particular language or a particular subject. At some point, we try to specialize. So any language is an ocean. And English, there are 8 lakh words. So where is the error? I will begin by describing the structure of the school system. In the Republic of Ireland, there are two names. The Irish Republic, you have got already, the Republic of Ireland. So what is the answer? Last 5 minutes, Vijay Kumar, you have been asking. I'll try to squeeze in some time. The Republic of Ireland or the Irish Republic. Now let us go to the last question. The mock trial team was happy with their presentations to the judge. The mock trial team. What is the subject? Team. Before that, adjectives. The mock trial team was happy with their presentations to the judge. Bakshi is a good book, but be careful. Here and there you come across errors. But to practice, that's a very good book. No second thoughts about that. Was happy not correct? Were happy. Someone has got it right. I really appreciate. Who is that? Aniket. I don't know how many of you have got it right, but I can see one name. Aniket says were. That is right. What is the reason? With their presentations individually, the mock trial team were happy with their presentations to the judge. What is the clue for you? Their presentations. Based on that, you cannot say was, we have to say were. Were happy with. 7:30 every day, every evening, except on Sunday, 7:30 to 8:30 live session. And soon you're going to have one more live session, 12 noon to 1 every day. Most probably next week we are going to start. And plus classes in the morning 9:30 to 11:30. Now one student has been asking, Vijay Kumar, I suppose, sir, please tell me how to remember tenses, the time phrases. Now, I don't know how many of you are interested. 5 minutes I'll spend, and whatever I'm going to say, useful. When it comes to tenses, at the outset, you have to tell yourself tenses are the most important. Tenses are the key to English grammar, English language. And generally, what happens, school level, they confuse. They say there are three tenses. Why do they say that? They take the time concept. If you take the time concept, there are three dimensions: present, past, and future. They give four tenses under present, four under past, four under uh, most probably next week I'm going to start four under future. But they itself, students get confused. How do I teach? Broadly, there are two types of tenses: basic or simple tenses, six in number, and perfect tenses, six in number. Six plus six, 12. Now, when it comes to tenses, what is the approach? I've been using one approach for the last 24 years. Any tense, first you have to learn the sentence pattern, then you have to learn the rules, then you have to learn the uses. When it comes to uses, I tell the students the time phrases. When it comes to tenses, the time phrases are very important. You may ask, sir, why are they important? Time phrases are specific to tenses. Except of the 12 tenses, past continuous and past perfect tense. These two don't take the time phrases, they're combinational tenses. But remaining 10 tenses, they take the time phrases, they're specific. What are the time phrases? If you take present continuous, what are the time phrases we use? Now, right now, at the moment, nowadays, these days, continuously. You have to memorize. There's no choice. When it comes to when it comes to present tense, every day, every morning, regularly, often, repeatedly, once a week, once a month, once in 5 days, these time phrases go with present tense. When it comes to past, any time that goes into the past, it could be one word, it could be a phrase, it could be a clause. Yesterday, last week, when I was a boy, in my childhood. So it could be a clause, it could be a phrase, it could be one word, but should go into the past. Then past continues, as I said, combinational tense, no time phrases. While I was having my dinner, the power went off. Here there is no time. And when it comes to future, and future continuous, any time that goes into future, for example, tomorrow, soon, next week, next month, into 2025, any time phrase. Now, present perfect and present perfect continuous are very important. They take time phrases. There are two prepositions, since and for. Many exams, they've given questions related to since and for. What is the difference? Since goes with specific time, for goes with a time period. And what are the time phrases that go with present perfect and present perfect continuous? Since Monday, since 2010, since October. It should be specific. You can also use a phrase or you can use a clause. Since my childhood, ever since I got married, there's a clause. And for the last 2 days, for the past 2 hours, for the past 10 years, these also, for it takes these time phrases. And when it comes to past perfect, it's a combination, no time phrase. But past perfect continuous, there is a time phrase and a time period. Now listen very carefully. I was teaching when he came. The sentence is correct. But in the exam, they give a different sentence. What is that? I was teaching for 2 hours when he came. This is not correct. For 2 hours is a time period. When there's a time period, we should use past perfect continuous. Then what is the correct sentence? I had been teaching for 2 hours when he came. This is correct. And when it comes to future perfect, we have time phrases like by tomorrow, by Monday, by 2025. Here we have to remember the preposition by. And when it comes to future perfect continuous, we have to use the time period. For 2 hours at this time tomorrow. For 2 days at so and so time. For 5 hours at 7:30 tomorrow. So these are the time phrases. Vijay Kumar, I've done it very fast. I hope you got an idea. You got an idea. But when I teach tenses, I'll be elaborating and I will give the tips how to remember. I'll give the examples. You will be able to remember. I hope you're happy. Are you there or you're not there? Oh, you are there. That's all for today. Have a nice weekend, all of you. Thanks for being with me till 8:30. I'll see you on Monday.